The rain pounded like war drums on the rooftop of the abandoned warehouse. Neon lights flickered in the distance, slicing through the haze like electric swords. Inside, two figures stood at opposite ends of the concrete arena, facing off in a battle that no one had anticipated, but everyone would remember. On one side was Jet Li, the silent storm, a whirlwind of precision and control honed through years of Wushu mastery. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His eyes told the story, calm, calculating, and deadly. On the other side loomed Ted Cassidy, a mountain of a man, known not for martial arts, but for his sheer, unstoppable presence. Best known as Lurch in the Addams Family, Cassidy's 6 feet 9 inches frame and booming voice were intimidating enough to shake lesser opponents before the fight even began. But tonight, the man was not acting. This was a real battle, one of instinct, grit, and power. Cassidy's advantage was obvious: raw strength and an overwhelming physical stature. His reach alone gave him a godlike presence in the ring. His punches didn't need speed. They came with the gravity of thunder. One swing, if it landed, could fold a grown man like laundry. Cassidy was no trained fighter, but his natural athleticism and endurance made up for a lack of formal technique. His style was primal, a brute force approach that didn't rely on elegance or grace, but on overwhelming his opponent with sheer might. There was a rhythm to the way he moved, despite his size. A kind of fluidity that was unnerving, slow, deliberate steps, like a predator stalking its prey. You could see it in his eyes. He didn't come to perform. He came to destroy. Then there was Jet Li, a man whose entire being was forged through discipline, agility, and explosive technique. Where Cassidy was a battering ram, Jet was a scalpel, quick, precise, and devastating. His martial arts career was legendary. 5-time national Wushu champion before even stepping into film. But this wasn't a film set. This was reality, and every movement had to count. Jet moved like lightning through water, silent, beautiful, and unstoppable. His strength wasn't just physical, it was mental. He could see 3 moves ahead. He could anticipate, react, and strike in a single breath. Jet's weakness, if any, was Cassidy's overwhelming size. One wrong step, one moment too slow, and Cassidy could end it with a single crushing blow. Jet had no margin for error. This was chess at 200 beats per minute. Cassidy made the first move, a massive forward lunge that sent tremors through the ground. Jet sidestepped, barely, the force of wind from the punch brushing past him like a train passing inches away. He didn't respond immediately. Jet studied. He circled. He let Cassidy tire himself, baiting attacks with ghost-like evasions and the occasional stinging strike to the ribs or knee. Cassidy absorbed the pain, as if it only fueled him more. He swung again, a right hook that cracked through a nearby crate, splinters flying like shrapnel. Jet used the opening, ducked in, and landed 3 blinding strikes to Cassidy's side: liver, ribs, temple. The giant staggered but didn't fall. He growled, a sound that felt prehistoric. The warehouse became a blur of motion, Cassidy's brute force clashing with Jet's flowing agility. For every one of Cassidy's thunderclaps, Jet responded with a hurricane of blows that blurred the line between human and machine. But still, Cassidy stood. Then it happened. Cassidy charged, a final desperate push to crush Jet beneath his weight. Jet didn't back away. He stepped into the storm. Time slowed. Jet pivoted low, grabbing Cassidy's wrist, twisting his body in a fluid arc, a classic Wushu takedown amplified with every ounce of leverage Jet could summon. Cassidy's own momentum betrayed him, and the giant slammed into the concrete with a thunderous crack that echoed through the walls. Jet didn't waste the moment. He delivered a single pinpoint strike to Cassidy's solar plexus, a move rooted in acupuncture philosophy, knocking the wind and the fight out of the Titan. Cassidy lay stunned, eyes wide in disbelief, chest heaving as Jet stood above him, composed, barely sweating. This wasn't just a win of speed over strength. It was mastery over chaos. Jet Li didn't win because he was faster. He won because he was smarter. He understood timing. He understood rhythm. He turned Cassidy's power against him like a mirror. He read Cassidy like a poem, interpreting every movement, every breath, and responding with an answer written in thousands of hours of disciplined training. Cassidy was a formidable opponent, and his force was terrifying. But Jet's victory was the kind earned in silence, in long hours before sunrise, in drills repeated until muscle memory became instinct. Cassidy, ever the sportsman, rose slowly, nodding with a faint, respectful grin. No shame in this loss. The mountain had met the wind, and the wind had danced around it, split it, and finally, brought it to its knees. And in that rain-soaked warehouse, history was made, not in the clash of titans, but in the grace of the storm.